Good evening. I'd like to call the City of West Bend Planning Commission for Tuesday, March 6th, 2018 to order and recognize that we do have a quorum of the Planning Commission tonight with Commissioner Dolnick absent and excused. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3 under approval of minutes is 3.1 Plan Commission approval of the minutes from the regular meeting February 6th, 2018.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Any questions, comments, or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Under item 4, development proposals is 4A, a zoning amendment at 6:00 p.m. ZPU-18-001, a public hearing for the consideration of a proposed zoning amendment for West Bend Health Center, 1700 West Paradise Drive, to add a PUD, Planned Unit Development Overlay District, over the existing B5 Neighborhood Office and Service District, and to approve a site plan to include reduce side yard setbacks, design exceptions, and allow a building height to exceed 35 feet. The applicant is John Balzer from Freighted Health. The agent is Renee Kubish from Epstein Ewan, and we have a presentation tonight by Business and Development Planner Jim Reinke. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, everyone. If you don't mind, I think I'd want to do the zoning amendment and the site plan all together.
Sure.
Since they do relate to each other. Freighted Health has submitted a petition for a zoning amendment for the redevelopment of 1700 West Paradise Drive. This request is for approximately 10 acres at the corner of Paradise and 18th Avenue at the northeast corner. This amendment is to add a planned unit development overlay over the existing B5 neighborhood business and office district to allow some flexibility with the design for this site. The request includes reduced street yard setbacks from Paradise Drive and from Vote Drive. Typically, we require a 42-foot street yard setback, and they are requesting for a reduced setback of 31.2 feet on Paradise Drive and then 32.7 feet from Vote Drive. This is to help to accommodate the construction of this new medical clinic while the existing medical center stays in operations during the construction. Also, as a part of the PUD request, they are requesting an overall building height exception to exceed the maximum height of 2 stories or 35 feet. What they're requesting for is a height of 45 feet at the main building and then a maximum height of 59 feet where the mechanical screen walls are on top of the building. They are also requesting some urban design exceptions related to the development, which is covered also under the site plan portion. These exceptions include the wall signage for a number of wall signs and then also the building materials. All property owners within 200 feet were notified of the public notice, and staff received no inquiries in regards to this zoning amendment. Staff has evaluated the request for both the setback reductions and the height variation, along with the urban design exceptions, and finds that the request would be acceptable and meets the requirements for the PUD and the zoning exceptions. As for the site plan itself, Freighted Health is anticipating the investment value of $36 million for this new facility and parking area. They also anticipate creating 10 new positions for physicians and additional staff up to 30 positions for support staff. The anticipated construction timing is the start of summer of 2018 with an anticipated completion date for the entire site in fall of 2020. As a part of the site plan, the screened refuse areas for this development would be located along Vote Drive. Typically not our standard area where we put them, but they're proposing to put them in the street yard on Vote Drive. We don't have staff doesn't object to this location since the refuse area is incorporated into the building, matching the building, so it actually looks like part of the building, so you wouldn't even know that it is a refuse area. It's made of the same masonry as the rest of the building. Parking and access for the site would remain from 18th Avenue. The driveway on 18th will not change locations. They are proposing to modify the driveways on Vote Drive and move them slightly north to help accommodate the truck traffic and loading area on the south end of the site where the new building will be constructed. Ultimately, the parking provided will be 452 stalls, which meets the requirements of our zoning code based on the size and the number of doctors and the size of the buildings that we have for this. During the construction, they are making provisions, since parking will be limited due to the construction. They have made provisions to provide 180 off-site parking stalls, and staff would recommend that, prior to the issuance of the building permit, that this parking agreement be in place prior to the start of any of the construction. The laterals and services from the building will be obtained from Vote Drive and Paradise Drive as they exist today. A stormwater management plan is required and has been submitted to the City Engineering Department for review. The grades have been designed generally to drain and continue to drain to the north and east, where it will discharge to the regional pond further east on the other side of Vote Drive. Site lighting for the development will consist of LED lighting. The parking lot will consist of 20-foot tall light poles, and then the building itself would have wall pack lighting associated with it and meets the requirements for our lighting standards. Adequate landscaping has been provided throughout the site, around the building and throughout the parking lot areas and the perimeter, and staff has no concerns with that. The building signage has been included as part of the package. The architectural building elevations do identify a wall sign on each side of the building. The north side of the building will have an 84 square foot West Bend Health Center sign on there, and then a small pharmacy sign is also identified in the drive-through area for the pharmacy associated with the building. On the east and west sides, there will be another sign of 154 square feet identifying West Bend Health Center in general on that one. And then on the south side of the building, there's a orthopedic and sports and spine center sign located on the building. That is not disclosed as a sign size, so staff would recommend that we wouldn't go any larger than the largest sign that we have there of that 154 square feet. The two existing ground signs that are there on 18th Avenue and at the corner of Paradise will remain, and they are also proposing a new ground sign at the just west of Vote Drive along Paradise Drive also. Staff doesn't have any concerns with the sign location for that, but since it is a third sign, the commission would have to grant an exception for this third ground sign, which is allowed under our urban design section for the commission to grant. Staff doesn't feel that the third ground sign is inappropriate, since this site does have 3 street yards. For the architectural building elevations, the building materials will predominantly consist of red brick. They are also incorporating some aluminum composite metal panels, and then they're also using some metal panel accenting for screen walls for the utilities. Staff would recommend approval of the site plan with conditions that the approval of the zoning amendment by the Common Council, approval of a stormwater management plan, submission and approval of a erosion control plan, provisions of landscape bid and surety, provisions for the parking, providing that 180 off-site parking stalls during the construction and until all the construction is complete for the ultimate design of the building. And then also the timing and use of the various buildings should be in accordance with the parking and phasing plans also.
That's it?
That's it.
Thanks, Jim. Anyone from the audience wishing to address this item, feel free to step up to the mic and let us know what's on your mind.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Any questions or comments from the Plan Commission regarding, first item is the zoning amendment, and then we'll get to the site plan. I would entertain a motion then on the PUD overlay zoning amendment.
Motion to approve.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any final questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Item 4B, 4B1 is SP-18-002, a site plan for the redevelopment of the existing site for a new clinic building, 1700 West Paradise Drive. Applicant again is John Balzer with Freighter Health, and agent is Reinke Kubish from Epstein Ewan Architects. Any questions or comments from the Plan Commission?
I'll move to approve with the,
I have a question.
sorry, Max.
Sorry, Max, you were kind of quiet.
I raised my hand.
Pound on the desk.
There is one item that I would like to add. I know that you had enough, but during the review process, found out that the applicant indicated that they're working on a traffic impact analysis, and so they have the draft recently completed, I understand. And I guess what I would like to see happen is when the traffic impact analysis is completed, I would like to get a copy of that for my review. And I guess I would like to say as part of the conditions that the city reserves the right to require implementation of whatever recommendations come out of that TIA. And I want to make sure that it would be at no cost to the city as well. So I would like to add that condition to the site plan approval.
Friendly amendment to the motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any final questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations to Freighter, and thank you for choosing to do business in West Bend and continuing to invest here. We certainly appreciate it. Again, under item 4B site plans is 4B2 SP-18-003, a site plan for an architectural facade update for Pearl of Canton, located at 102 South Main Street by Bibe Liu, who is the applicant, and the agent is Gerald Halasek from Halasek Architecture, and again, a presentation by Jim.
This architectural update is basically just renovating the exterior of the building. Essentially what the applicant is doing is they're proposing to clean up the existing brick and then paint it an antique white. And then over the main entrance off of Hickory Street, they're looking to put in some EFIS treatments to dress up the main entrance on the building itself. Again, that will be an antique white color matching the main building color. The existing windows have been or will be replaced as part of the renovations, and then these site plan, or I should say the architectural elevations, do also include 2 wall sign locations, one on the east and one on the north sides over the entrance doors. And staff doesn't object to the locations, but prior to installing these signs, sign approvals would need to be acquired.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? I would entertain a motion on the item.
Move to approve as presented.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much to Pearl of Canton. We're looking forward to you guys opening up, and thanks for investing in West Bend. Appreciate it. 4B3 is SP-18-006, a site plan for the development of a cultural campus located at 205 Veterans Avenue. Applicant is Lori Winters from the Museum of Wisconsin Art. The agent is James Shields, and if you know him like we do, we can call him Jim, I hope. Jim Shields from HGA. And a presentation by Jim.
Thank you. The Museum of Wisconsin Art has submitted a site plan for their cultural campus. The Plan Commission reviewed the concept earlier and had endorsed the concept. So what they did is they went through and finalized the plans for this. The cultural campus is for the lands that are between the Eisenbahn Trail and Veterans Avenue and extending from West Washington Street down to Water Street. The plans themselves include revisions to the parking lot, hardscape, removal of the trash enclosure, and relocating some of the ADA handicap sidewalks and ramps. No changes to the vehicle access or stormwater conveyance is proposed on the site. Pedestrian access routes have been preserved, and easements for public access and the use of the parking lot along with the utilities have been provided through an agreement that was previously approved. Paved walkways, lawn areas, hydrangeas beds, and aspen groves are shown and are consistent with that concept plan that the commission endorsed earlier. Grades will remain essentially the same and will be consistent with the soil mitigation plan approved for this area. Site lighting will consist of 6.5 watt in-ground floodlights located in the aspen groves west of the parking lot and east of the museum. Plantings in the Eisenbahn corridor are allowed as requested under the city's agreement authority and approval from the DNR. Private sidewalk connections from the gardens themselves, or I should say from the cultural campus, connecting to the municipal sidewalks are provided on both ends of the site, on the north and south ends. Staff did recognize that with the removal of the refuse area, that they had garbage carts showing or trash receptacles showing on the north side of the screen wall the wall that they're putting up just east of the building. Staff would recommend that some kind of provisions be made for the carts to either be placed inside the building or a refuse area or a screened area be provided for those carts, consistent with our plans that we have. Staff would recommend approval of the plan with the approval of the plantings requested in the Eisenbahn corridor, construction being consistent with the DNR approved soil mitigation plan, and then approval of a soil or of a erosion control plan.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? Max? I saw you that time.
Jim, did we get the curve number calculation confirmation with Emily on that project?
We did not get a curve number. I know there was a request for it, but we
Okay.
did not get one as of yet. I mean, we can follow up with that
Yes. Well,
if it is needed.
Okay. Yeah, we'll follow up on that then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask what a curve number is? Maybe I'm the only one that doesn't know. Is that stormwater or the
Yes, the curve number
impervious area?
is a
Okay,
stormwater
gotcha.
feature. We just want to make sure that within the curve number they need.
Obviously. Anybody else? The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, has it?
No.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve it
Thanks,
as
Joe.
presented.
I'll second that.
Now a motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed? That motion carries. Thanks to Lori and to Jim for continuing the great investment. Looking forward to it being completed soon. Item 4C1 is a 2020 comprehensive plan, consideration and permission to set a public hearing regarding a proposed amendment to the 2020 comprehensive plan for the city of West Bend for approximately 43.2 acres of land located at the southwest corner of State Highway 33 and Scenic Drive. The proposed land use change would be from commercial, recreational, and open space and residential to commercial and open space by the Department of Development, City of West Bend, who is the applicant. And a presentation by Jim.
Thanks. FPH Morris, RELLC, has submitted a request to the commission for a consideration to a land use plan change at the southwest corner of Washington Street and Scenic Drive West. This area was recently attached to the city of West Bend on February 19th of 2018. The property, once it was attached, had permanent zoning, or I should say temporary zoning, assigned to it for B4 general business and warehousing districts, along with P1 park recreation and open space, and also various wetlands. The 2020 comprehensive plan originally identified this area, or identifies this area as wetlands, commercial use, open space, two-family residential, and single-family. The future owner is requesting an amendment to the for the comprehensive plan to modify the commercial area and the open space area, and then also to remove the two-family and single-family land uses for this parcel. If the comprehensive plan change is endorsed by the Plan Commission, the zoning amendment for the permanent zoning would reflect the change to B4 for that general business and warehousing district, and also the P1 for park recreation and open space. And in the inventory of wetlands would also be identified as open space. Staff has reviewed the request and feels that the proposed change would be an acceptable alternative, since the expansion of the commercial use would replace the two-family and single-family use, and then also the open space would be increased, creating a larger buffer to the south. If the Plan Commission finds this request to be acceptable, staff would recommend that the public hearing be set for April 10th of 2018 at 6 p.m. For review.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? I would entertain a motion on the item. Motion has been made and seconded. Any final questions or comments? Max? No?
No, thank you.
All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Thanks to the Department of Development. We appreciate you continuing to do business here. Item 4D1, under Certified Survey Map and Site Plans, is CSM-18-002, create 3 lots located at the southwest corner of North River Road and Lang Street by Brian Parrish from Paradigm Real Estate, who is the agent. The applicants are Dan and Steve Johnson, along with Tim Kralkamp. And Jim, a presentation.
Thanks. This certified survey map is for the southwest corner of North River Road and Lang Street. The purpose is to redefine the 2 existing lots into 3 lots. The lots are currently vacant, pending the development approval for Lot 1 for this CSM. The lots are zoned M2 heavy industrial. Lot 1 is approximately 6.4 acres, and lots 2 and 3 are each approximately 4 acres. All 3 lots conform to the zoning requirements for the M2. Municipal sewer and water services exist in Lang Street and River Road. Existing utility easements are identified for these CSMs on the north and south lines. There's also a stormwater easement on the east edge of Lot 1 that could possibly be removed upon completion of that site plan approval there. A stormwater note has also been added on the CSM to provide provisions for stormwater drainage for lots 2 and 3. Staff would recommend approval of the certified survey map.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? I would entertain a motion on the item.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. And Jim, if you could handle the final item for me, please.
Okay,
The conflict
thank
of
you, Craig.
interest.
Item 2 is the site plan presentations, SP-18-004. A site plan to construct a 4,773 square foot industrial building located at 530 North River Road by Andrew Stringer, Cat Leasing LLC. The applicant is Andrew Stringer, Cat Leasing. Agent is Kraig, Sadownikow, American Construction Services. Jim, would you take us on, please?
Sure. This site plan is for an industrial building located at the southwest corner of North River Road and Lang Street. This development will benefit the TIF District number 13. The business would create 25 full-time jobs over the next 3 years. The property, the 6.4 acre property is zoned M2 heavy industrial and meets the requirements, and this development meets the requirements of those zoning needs. Screened refuse area is provided at the southwest corner of the site, and they're proposing to use a 6-foot or an 8-foot chain link fence refuse area. The developer is requesting an urban design exception to use the chain link versus wood or masonry. Staff reviewed the request and doesn't object to the exception, since it is in the far corner of the site and also screened with landscaping from view. The site plan also identifies a future expansion to the north for an additional 40,000 square feet. A chain link screened area is also identified on the west side of the building, where 2 tanks are on that side of the building. A 6-foot diameter, 20-foot tall oxygen tank is proposed on that side, along with a 6-foot diameter, 4-foot tall nitrogen tank. These would be used for the processes done in this industrial building. Access to the site will be from 2 driveways that are being proposed. The truck access will be from Lang Street, and the visitor access and employee entrance would be from North River Road. 48 standard and 2 barrier-free parking stalls are being provided and meet the requirements of the zoning code for this industrial use. Laterals for the sewer and water will be obtained from Lang Street. A stormwater management plan has been submitted and is currently under review by the engineering department, and the site grades have been designed to drain generally to the north and to the west to the stormwater management facilities. Site lighting for this development will consist of LED lighting on 20-foot tall light poles, and then also building-mounted light fixtures are also proposed. Adequate landscaping is being provided throughout the site and along the building for foundation plantings. Signage for this development will consist of 1 ground sign located along North River Road. Staff finds that the location is acceptable, but upon final details of the plans for the sign, that may need to be adjusted to meet the requirements for various setbacks for that. For architectural building elevations, the building materials will consist of an 8-foot high earth tone colored stone banding along the lower portions of the east and south walls. The remaining portions of the building will be a slate gray colored architectural panel. The north wall will be completely metal and is intended as the expandable area for that future building addition to the north. Architectural canopies are also incorporated over the main entrances at the southwest corner of the building and over the entrance doors on the east side of the building. Staff would recommend approval of the site plan with the conditions that an erosion control plan be approved, provisions for landscape bid and surety, approval of a stormwater plan, and approval of the recording of a certified survey map creating the parcel for this development.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Any questions or comments on the part of the commission? If not, I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve, number 1, the submission and approval of an erosion control plan prior to any land disturbing activities and prior to the issuance of a building permit. 2, provision of a landscape bid and adequate surety prior to the issuance of a building permit. 3, approval of a stormwater management plan prior to the issuance of a building permit. And 4, approval of recording of the certified survey map creating the parcels prior to the issuance of a building permit. All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very much. With no further business to come before the commission, I hereby adjourn this meeting. I want to thank everybody for their cooperation and attendance.